Oh, we have one more person. Okay, perfect. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for taking the time to join this webinar. We are super excited to have you here to discuss how to overcome culture shock in Greece. I'm Chloe, the founder of My Greek Expat Journey, and my goal is to help new expats relocate to Greece by giving them access to a network of qualified experts. We have four very special speakers today, Paulina, Anna, Miao, and Ludmila, who will speak about their experiences overcoming culture shock in Greece and give their practical tips to our community. So without further ado, let's begin. Anna, would you like to begin?
Yes, why not? I'm happy to begin. Where would you like me to start?
Yeah, anything you want, your first points. So feel welcome to.
Okay, well, I will just quickly introduce myself. So my name is Anna, and I used to have a corporate career back in Germany, and during that time I started my own business, and I'm working as a certified conscious dating and sex, love, and relationship coach for internationally minded women. And 2 years ago, with my partner, we decided to move to Greece with our two kids. So my kids are now 12 and 4 years old. And it was like taking a leap of faith, because it's kind of like living a country where things are pretty organized in terms of administration, infrastructure, and all of that. And like coming to Greece, and for me, it was like moving back to the Balkans because I come from Serbia. So culturally, I knew that it's very similar to Greece. And also my husband is Greek, so I met my Greek husband in Germany, and that was kind of one of the main factors of making this decision. So coming to Greece on vacation is one thing, and that's what people always say, but living in Greece is totally another thing. As I was coming here, and like I was hearing stories of all the women from, like, I joined the mothers group because that was very important for me, that my kids kind of find their way. That was one of my major things, actually. Like, if my kids find their way in Greece, then I'll be fine. So I've seen like a lot of moms like complain about a lot of things here. And for me, that was something that was, a little bit like, oh my God, did we make a right decision? But then on the other hand, I knew that for me, it's not so culturally different. And then as I was meeting people and talking to them, I actually learned that all those people who come from, let's say, Western countries or first world countries, they would have much harder time here in Greece. Whereas, like, for me, being a Serbian and coming from the Balkans, which is already like a challenging region on its own, it was not so much of a shock. So yeah, my points for this talk today were basically, I wanted to reveal like 3 things that were better for me in Greece than in Germany. And like, I'm doing this comparison because, like, I know we shouldn't compare. It's all individual, but somehow our brain is always stuck in comparing things, like, is it better here or there? So I found actually that 3 things made my life much better, life quality, much better here in Greece than in Germany. And I kind of like share it as 3 keywords. It is the climate, so the weather, the people, when I say the people, I mean the social life and socializing for me and for my kids especially. And the third word is the food, which is like, food is one of the greatest things here, especially like fresh fruits, vegetables. I actually just have come back now from Laiki with my kids, which is like a Greek farmers fresh market that is happening in every area of the city of Athens, and like in all the other cities as well. And that's something that I really like about here. So just a little bit more about these 3 key points: the climate, the people, and the food. I mean, the climate, I guess, there is nothing much to say about it. It all depends of course, like comparing it to Germany, I was living in a northwest part of Germany. It's very similar climate to, let's say, England. So it's like a lot of rain, a lot of gray, gray days. Whereas here in Athens, we have like at least 250 sunny days, and winter's also mild. And it was really something that I appreciate a lot. Like I feel like I have 6 months of summer, almost, even though like sometimes it's getting a bit challenging with that as well. But that is something that I really, really love about living here. About socializing, so I noticed that it was much easier. Okay, my younger kid was 2, so it was not very relevant for him. He was too young. But the oldest one was 10 years old, and it was just like this, not teen yet, but kind of pre-teen age. So that was something that was really making me anxious about the move here. But then he was able to find, like, not just quickly find friends, but find like a lot of friends. Whereas like when we were living in Germany, he had kind of like one best friend, and then it was always like much more challenging to arrange, let's say, the play dates for the kids. It was much more challenging to socialize with the parents, or to just like meet with the parents. For example, like birthday parties, kids' birthday parties is like, in Germany, mainly only kids are invited to birthday parties. So like parents are not invited. Whereas when we came here, like everybody was inviting everybody, so like kids, parents. So it was much easier for me also as a foreigner here, even though like my husband is Greek and his family lives here and his friends. Me as an international woman, an expat woman who has been living abroad for more than 15 years, it was really important to find my own circle of friends and people. And that was something really nice, that I could, like, in a much easier way, actually be exposed to a lot more people through the school, let's say. And then, like, of course, I did my own effort to meet my own friends outside of my kids' school in kindergarten environment. And yeah, the food, I mean, what to say? The food is really lovely here. I find like the quality of vegetables, fruits, but also meat, really everything, like the quality of the food itself is better. Yes, there was a little bit of a shocker when I came to the supermarket and I discovered, like, oh, prices are higher, a little bit higher in Greece, in the Greek supermarket than in the German supermarket, which was like, doesn't make sense because living standard is much lower here. But still, what I appreciate is the quality. So for me, I was trying to focus on these things that were better. And the second point of my discussion today was like something, when people ask me what was something that surprised you in Greece, like, you know, being a Serbian or like coming here. And now I have the comparison with Serbia. I wanted to share 2 things that are worse here than in Serbia. And for me, you know, I would expect that Greece is a little bit more developed because somehow it belongs theoretically into the kind of like more developed countries, Western, but it's not really. The mentality is like really Balkan mentality. So 2 things that are worse here than in Serbia are the sidewalks, the pavements. Like, especially, I was really shocked how in not everywhere in Athens, but, you know, in wider areas, either there are no pavements at all, or there are pavements that you cannot walk on because there are things, trees, whatever. And somehow that municipalities, you know, don't really, I don't know, have power. They're not interested. It's hard to change because everything is so like built and dense. So that was something that, let's say, I didn't expect to be so bad. And public sector, but that's like a huge topic. Public sector, I feel like it's a lot more challenging here than in Serbia. And just like fun, I'm not going to elaborate on that because I'm sure like a lot of people already spoke about the public sector bureaucracy and all of these things. But for me, what was shocking is when I went to a foreigner's office to apply for the residence permit and all of that. I was shocked just by the building where the public office was. Like, the building is just a residential building, as if like it was not a building that was built for this kind of purpose. It was just like a residential building, and then inside it looks like a mess, and it's totally, I mean, inappropriate, like adjusting the residential building to serve as an office, public office, where you need to, go and sort out whatever. It just looked to me a little bit like, wow, I couldn't believe, like, I would just like walk down the street and I wouldn't even notice that. And I would even seen like somewhere, I think it was in Brilicia, like a police station is in a residential building. For me, it was just like so weird. So these are just like funny things that I noticed here. So that's about my comparisons. On the other hand, I also want to say that the nature here is really beautiful. I still haven't really been to the whole of Greece, but because I'm a coach myself, and I'm interested in well-being, mindfulness, personal development, and all of these things. Like I'm looking to find places where people can go maybe on retreats and do some kind of like inner work and healing work. And I research a lot also online, and I was really surprised to see how many, like, there is a variety of beaches, islands, mountains. You can even go like skiing, waterfalls, forests, lakes. There's literally everything in Greece. And I think that is something that a lot of people don't know about Greece. A lot of people don't know that when you come to Greece, you would have all this variety of nature, and many people just, I guess, associate Greece just with islands and the beach life and all of that. But actually, there is like so much more, and I'm very excited about discovering all these new places. So I'm really trying with my family to always, like, whenever we do a little trip, to always go to a different part of Greece, different island. Last year for Christmas, we went to Epirus. That is like a northwestern part of Greece, which is one of the, let's say, the purest, the least untouched, unspoiled areas in Greece. And I remember I was really surprised when we did a little tour with like wildlife, and a tour guide told us there is a river called Assos, and that is the only river in Europe that doesn't have any man-made obstacle on its flow. And I was like, wow, incredible. I mean, maybe that's not incredible for everybody, but for me, these are the things that I like to learn about. And the nature is really stunning. Like, those mountains are amazing. The food there is also amazing. So these are the things that interest me, and I'm on quest to find nice places, nice locations where I can actually make some gatherings for people, organize some retreats and things like that. That's what I'm up to right now.
Great. Anna, thank you so much for your detailed, introduction. We love hearing about you and your experience. I think as, a Balkan woman, I think there's a lot of similarities there, and I love how you tied in your experience from Germany and things like pavements, yeah, or sidewalks. So we're gonna before we go on to the next speaker, which is Paulina, do you want to give us our audience a practical tip about how they might overcome culture shock, something you want to advise?
Yes, well, for me, it's something that I had to train myself also when I've been in hard situations in my life. Always like focus on what works and what's positive in your life. That's why I've chosen in this talk to speak about good things, like 3 things that make my life in Greece really rich. So I would say, count your blessings and like do your gratitude, or like abundance inventory. Just like recall every day what are the things that you actually like about this place. And I'm sure that over the time you would grow to love it even more. And just like one thing to mention, I went to a German doctor here, and she told me, like, I'm born in Munich and I'm living in Greece for 25 years now. And it was really hard first few years, but I would never go back to Germany. And that kind of stood with me when a German woman told me that. So I was like, okay. So everybody, that's a proof that everybody can grow into like loving Greece, apart from, besides all the challenges that they meet on the way here.